Some of these things I talk about here, to the generation of today, may be just stories. Because of the changes in technology and time, some of these things have really changed that they are no longer applicable today. But all the same, it is always good for the current generation to know how life was previously. Today I'm reminding myself about two instances that occurred. Two gentlemen. The first one, the gentleman used to work with the UN in Gigiri, and he was a Kenyan. So he was a Kenyan, and he had two wives. Now when he was employed, there was a provision for him to write the name of his spouse. So he wrote the name of his first wife. And the first wife was elderly, and she used to stay in the royal home, in this case Kitale. So he used to stay in Kitale, and the gentleman stayed in Nairobi with a second wife. The two wives knew each other. It is a polygamy case. And you see everything in the file had indicated the name of the first wife. Both were housewives. So what I'm saying, everything had indicated, including hospital. So the fellow was, I was about to mention the name of the hospital, but for legal reasons, let me not mention it. But it was one of the second-tier hospital. By second-tier hospital, I mean it is not on the level of Nairobi Hospital, but it is somewhere near there. So Nairobi Hospital could be counted as first tier, and this one can be declared as second tier group of hospitals. So he was registered there, and whenever the wife in Kitale would be sick, she would be brought to Nairobi and taken and be admitted in that hospital. Whenever the city-based wife became sick, she was... Now you see, the file was one, and the second wife was used to, when she was in the hospital, actually the first wife was called Beatrice. So she was used to, whenever she's admitted, she was used to hearing hospital personnel calling her Beatrice, 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 Beatrice. In this first instance, both the ladies suffered because this lady had this type of sickness and the other lady had this type of sickness. So the file showed that it is one person but with multiple sicknesses. So when one of them went to the hospital, so let's say, okay, I'm not good in medical, but let's say one file says she's very hypertensive, and the other one she had TB. So when this one is being treated for TB, the file says treat this one with TB, but know that she has hypertension, and vice versa. So you find that the medication they used to get was even affecting them, because they could take even more serious medicine. In the second case, this is somebody who worked with an international NGO and did the same. He took, now he had registered it in the name of the elder wife. But the second wife was not even a wife, and she owned a private school. So this private school teacher or proprietor, she owned a private school, yes, but she was working as as an accountant with one of the national schools in Kenya. She was working as an accountant with the national school, with one of the most famous national schools in Kenya, but had owned a private school. But she was a girlfriend, not married. She was a girlfriend to this person. So when she became sick, and she was admitted in a second-tier hospital under the name of the first, the real wife. She was a concubine, if we can call it so. Then she died. When she died, she was it was written that it is the wife who has died. Now I don't know the name of the two, I can't recall them too, but let's say the madam is alive, but the concubine who is working in the Ministry of Education as an accountant in a national school and who owns a private school has died. But when she died, the name that is now placed in the death certificate was that of the Madam Jijazie.